I'm excited, you guys. It is 43 degrees outside and very windy, and in my greenhouse it is 70 degrees. I'm gonna go ahead and start my seeds. It is January 13th, which is a lucky number for me. I was born on the 13th and also a Friday. This is gonna be a good day. Last year I wasn't able to start my seeds till, like, gosh, I think it was February, looking back on my videos. And even then it took forever for them to sprout, and because it was just so cold. This weather, it's just been bizarre. We got the Arctic blast that getting down into the single digits, which pretty much almost wiped out my fall garden. And now we've been getting into this very warm weather. This next week here, we're expecting a good 2 weeks of 60-degree weather, which is going to be great for my seeds. And I'm hoping I'll start seeing some sprouts. I'm going to do a few things different this year with planting as far as my tomatoes and peppers go. Tomatoes generally like it to be a good 70 degrees before they will even start to sprout. My hair is totally tickling me. Peppers prefer it even warmer. So we'll see what we can do here. I'm not going to be planting some things, not yet, like this is something I forgot to talk about in my last seed video. Peanuts. Last year I companion planted a lot with peanuts, and I noticed a huge difference. The things that were growing next to the peanuts grew bigger and were healthier, because peanuts are a legume and they put nitrogen into the soil. And I like them also because they grow low to the ground, so they're not going to drown out your plants. And they grow great out here. This variety that I had is called the Win, and it did great. They're a bit on the bigger side. Let me show you. I collected a bunch of seeds too, but I'm not sure if they're mature enough if they'll work. If you see here, I planted another variety last year too, and it did not do well. If I remember it, I'll put that name in here just so you'll know. If you live in the South though, peanuts are gonna grow pretty well for you. I'm not gonna be starting my squashes yet, or peanuts, beans, all that stuff will come much later. All right, turkeys, calm down. Wow, they get loud. I wanted to show y'all something. This is my little frog. We went to Lowe's this morning. Nathan needed to get some stuff like lattice to finish the front gate. And of course I always have to go to the garden section. And they had some stuff on sale. I saw this little guy. I had to have him. I just love frogs and toads. In fact, I have this vision of by the front gate. I want a frog standing in a waistcoat. I don't know where I'm gonna get that, but I've got my eye out. I'm looking for him. Oh yeah, I got this guy for $5. I needed a new one because I broke the other one. They don't last that long. I've got a lot of seeds that I saved for my tomatoes last year. I saved them from plants that were doing well. And I don't know if I told you about this one last time. It's called a Thornburns Lemon Blush, and it was very delicious. And this particular one that I collected, the plant was doing very well. It's very prolific, was handling the sicknesses well, and still producing, even though the other ones were kind of pittering out. So I collected quite a few seeds from this one. It starts to produce tomatoes early. I would say similar to like the Early Girl. And as far as size, it's similar to size as well, but they're yellow and they're just very sweet and delicious. I enjoyed making lots of salsa with them, and it's kind of fun to have different colors in your salsa. Having some yellows and reds. These were all open pollinated. I'm not sure exactly what we'll get, and I think it's going to be kind of fun. All right, I think I'm organized and I'm ready to go. Mr. Frog, I think you're going to have to go somewhere else for right now. Oh. So I just like to save all the containers from plants that I buy, and then my local harvester, he was kind enough to just give me a whole bunch when the season is over, and he just had a whole bunch and he said I could take them. So I'm gonna probably do that again this year, since he's either giving them away or throwing them in the trash, so I might as well recycle them. Instead of putting them in each individual containers. I'm going to be putting them all in one, and as they sprout, I will then put them in their each individual container. I've seen other gardeners do it that way, and I think that's very smart. So, frogs are out. You hear them? This is the rawia pepper that did well, kind of similar to a bell pepper. Let's see, we'll give them some space. I love tomato seeds, how they're kind of fuzzy. And the reason I saved seeds from plants that were doing better last year is I'm hoping to create a variety that can handle my environment better. So it's kind of a fun experiment. But I got all my tomatoes planted, and I think I definitely went overboard, but I think it's gonna be okay. I can always give some away if I have to. I'm gonna get that tobacco planted. I collected seeds from our tobacco last year from that one that just did exceptionally well. I think I got up to what, Nathan, like 9 feet tall?
At least.
Yeah, at least 9 feet tall. It was huge. So I collected some seeds from that one. That was one of the tobaccos I had growing next to a peanut plant. And it was also getting some runoff from the chicken run, which is going to help as well. Tobacco seeds are extremely tiny. I don't know if you guys can see them pouring out of here, but... Oh! I dropped it. Uh-oh, I guess we're going to have some volunteer tobacco on the ground. And with these guys, you just need to sprinkle them. So if you see over here, these are all my hydrangea and azalea cuttings that I took last year. And look, you see them? Look at the little hydrangeas. So all the leaves died back, and then it looked like they were dead. But they're all still very much alive, you see. So cute. And the azaleas are doing good. I'm gonna have to end up probably moving these guys back outside or something, because I'm gonna need this room for all my seeds. Go ahead and start. We're gonna do our borage here. I will be mixing in my borage with everything else, along with my marigolds. But with the marigold seeds, I'm just gonna throw them out there when I don't have to worry about it freezing anymore. One of the things I learned about borage that I thought was kind of cool is that it can handle frost. I had some borage pop up because I had mixed it in quite a bit with my squash last year, and it just started popping up. And it did just fine in the frost until, of course, we got the hard freezing single-digit weather. Then it died. But up until that point, it was doing just fine. So next year, I might try mixing some borage in with my fall garden. Just kind of see how it goes. That weird Arctic blast is something that just doesn't really happen out here. Normally it's perfectly safe for people out in my area. I'm in zone 8A in North Georgia to have a fall garden. Kind of cool looking seeds, huh? A pretty white borage. Let's get these pink Senorita zinnias going, and I think I'm gonna put these guys around my house. I think that's what I'm gonna do with them. the zinnias all done. And if we have extras pop up, I'll just put them in more pots. But I've also got some creeping thyme that I'm going to be planting more of. I love this stuff all over. It likes sun, so I put it around my yard and just kind of let it go crazy. It's also tough enough that you can walk on it a little bit, just lightly. I'm going to be getting more of this going as well. I'm going to run out of space. You know what I'm going to need to do is I might need to end up bringing in some card tables in here as well, because this greenhouse is going to be full. Especially when all these tomato and pepper seeds start popping up. Yep. We'll plant the salvia next. Amor salmon. So pretty. I love salvia. Drop one. Come here. I always like looking at the different seeds. Kind of fun. Didn't come with very many, but I'll just plant these in one pot and we'll see what comes up. There we go. What was that? I always feel a little nervous being in here when it's blustery like it is. I don't want to get crushed by a tree. I think that was just a turkey. Just gonna see what pops up there. Let's go see the gates that Nathan has been working on today. But I gotta put my coat on because y'all, it's getting cold. Little gnome, do you want to be my little stopper? Keep this door shut. Those look great. And
turned out okay.
He was so sweet, he did the fleur-de-lis, which I love. And I'll be staining this all, of course.
I have to add a little, you know...
Yeah,
chunk,
that little section
little
here.
chunk. Each side it gets a little higher than the 4-foot section that they sell at the store. So add those in, finish staining it, put hinges, and then I got to work out the lock in the middle. But I think they came out pretty good. It's in keeping with the garden gate, you know, has the same style.
Yeah. It looks great. So excited.
It came out pretty good.
Yeah. It is the next day, you guys, and it is warm in here. Check this out. It's getting close to 80 degrees in here. That's good. What I'm gonna do, what I forgot to do yesterday, is I forgot to put these little plastic covers on that I have just to keep them extra warm, especially at night. Trap some heat in there. Gosh, that's great. It's 80 degrees. I've been thinking, those seeds that I saved for my tomato plants, since they were open pollinated, I'm worried that I'm not going to get the tomatoes that I want. Like those lemon, I think they're called Thornburn's lemon bush. No, they were called Thornburn's lemon blush. I like that particular tomato, but since it was open pollinated, it could have crossed with my cherry tomatoes or other beefsteaks that I had out there. Paste, I mean, who knows? And there is a possibility I did have other lemon blush tomato plants out there with it, so who knows? But to make sure, since I did really like that variety, I'm gonna go ahead and plant some of those seeds because I had some left over from last year. It took me a second to find them. Here we go. There's the Thornburn's lemon blush here. So I'm gonna go ahead and get some of these planted so I make sure I can get this exact variety. And I'm still gonna experiment with those open pollinated ones. We'll just kind of see what happens with them. I did collect seeds 2 years ago from a bell pepper plant, and then I planted it last year. But the pepper that came out was like a miniature bell pepper. Not very useful to me. And for me, I don't want a miniature bell pepper plant. I want big, you know, something worth my while. While I was looking for the Thornburn's lemon blush, I found some other things. I forgot about this one, y'all. This tomato spoon. So I'm gonna plant some of those, and then this salvia, this blue sage salvia, is an evergreen. I still have it growing in my garden. It got a little damaged when it got to single digits here, but it's still doing fine. So I'm gonna go ahead and plant some of this because I love stuff that's evergreen. It's gonna look pretty all year round. And of course, I totally forgot, y'all. I need some basil, right? I'm gonna get these planted real quick. What you doing, Maro? You eating the weeds? She's growing up so much, you guys. Hey, can you sit for me? Can you sit for everybody? Sit. That's a good girl. Last year when I was planting seeds, y'all, she was just a tiny little puppy. Huh? Do you remember that? She actually has a really good memory. Well, this year, y'all, I'm gonna make it my top priority to save seeds from my heirloom, from some of my favorite varieties, along with the Long Island cheese. I had a tough time trying to find the female flower open. Generally, you'll find it in the morning. They were stubborn. So I want to get to the point where I don't need to buy seeds unless I want to try something new, y'all. And of course, I want to have stuff that's gonna be tougher and can handle my environment better. Oh my goodness, you guys. Yo, these are such tiny tomato seeds. Can you see? This is gonna be kind of fun. Teeny tiny little tomatoes. After all of these guys start sprouting, I will separate those little sprouts gently and put them all in their own little pots. But for right now, y'all, I think we're good to go. Everything's watered. I'm gonna put those little plastic containers on, and I'll keep an eye on them to make sure they don't get too warm with those, because it's gonna be warming up this week. Wish me luck, y'all. I'm excited. Hoping to see some sprouts soon, and I will keep y'all informed. Y'all take care. We'll see you next time.